Imagine your child, even at a young age, confidently making smart money choices because they've had frequent, hands-on opportunity to practice within the safe context of your home. What if teaching financial wisdom wasn't about lectures, but about engaging everyday experiences? My name is Stephanie Lennon. I'm the author of Family Bank Blueprint and a financial educator. I know this is entirely possible because my family lived it. Let's be honest, many of us secretly dread the boomerang kid scenario. You know, your bright, capable child hitting their mid-20s, struggling to launch financially, perhaps back in their childhood bedroom, and quietly, or maybe not so quietly, draining your retirement savings. It's a valid fear, especially when we've worked so hard to give our kids every advantage. We teach our kids calculus, history, and literature, but often the most critical life skills, managing money effectively, is left to chance. Today, we'll explore practical strategies to go beyond the piggy bank, empowering your children with the grit, skills, and confidence to build their own prosperous future. The invaluable gift of true financial independence, all without requiring significant new spending from you. You'll gain peace of mind knowing that they're truly ready to launch. First, the mindset shift from spectator to player. So let's start with a crucial mindset shift. For too long, the traditional advice has been give your kids an allowance and teach them to save. And while that's a start, it's often not enough, especially for children who may not feel the immediate need to work for every dollar. It misses the big picture. My own children, when they were younger, had a major disconnect. I still remember my middle child, little man, we'll call him. He was 7. He once asked me, I was rushing out to try to get to work on time, and he stopped me and he's like, Mommy, why can't you stay with us? Like, when are you going to retire? I was maybe in my early 40s. I explained I had to work to pay for our house, electricity, food, clothes, vacations. His response, but Mommy, your credit cards pay for all that. In that moment, it hit me. They truly believed credit cards were just this infinite supply of funding. This wasn't about their understanding of money, but our failure to teach them what money truly is and where it comes from. And this brings me to my core insight. Money isn't just about simple transactions, getting it, spending it, saving it. It's a powerful tool. A tool for achieving goals, expressing your values, and ultimately building independence. We need to shift the conversation in our homes from don't spend it all to a much more empowering question of what are your dollars doing for you and with you? And what are you doing with your dollars? This philosophy underpins everything I teach, which is that practice builds proficiency. Think about it. How do kids learn to ride a bike? I mean, good old-fashioned question, right? It's not by watching YouTube or TikTok, but by getting on the bike, falling, and getting back up again. Financial skill is no different. Children must be given age-appropriate, everyday opportunities to make their own money decisions. And here's the critical truth. The value of early mistakes is immense. Learning from small financial missteps early on with 10s and 20s is profoundly beneficial. These small failures, and I'll use failures in quotes here, these small failures build resilience, teach problem solving, and develop that crucial financial muscle memory. It's far better than facing costly mistakes as an adult with hundreds or thousands on the line and no idea how to fix it. We want them to develop a prosperity mindset, not a scarcity mindset. This is why I advocate for creating a household microeconomy. Think of your home as a safe living finance lab. It's a unique framework where your children gain structured, practical experience with money, making real decisions, and experiencing the consequences, all generally without impacting your household budget. This isn't about giving them more money, it's about giving them more control over the money you're already spending on them. How do we put this into practice? It starts with one of my core mantras, the most actionable step you can take today. And I want you to walk away with this. Write this down. Give your children the opportunity to control more of the money that you already budgeted to spend on their behalf. I'll say that once more. Write this down, please. Give your children the opportunity to control more of the money you already budgeted to spend on them. So we're not talking about increasing your spending. We're talking about repurposing what you already allocate for them. And that's a big reason why this system, this framework works, is because it doesn't cost you anything more to give them this hands-on practical experience. So think about it. Where are you already spending money on your kids? Clothes, toys, entertainment, snacks, school supplies, even portions of their extracurriculars, summer camps. These are all potential areas to experiment with. So the shift is simple. Instead of you buying everything for them, you give them the budget for it with clear parental guardrails on their spending decisions. For example, for clothes, here's $300 for your clothes this quarter, this year, this week, like whatever your budget is, like no judgment one way or the other. Okay, kiddo, you choose what you buy, but once it's gone, it's gone. And so this sets a clear boundary and teaches them real world consequences. Now, I do also talk about parameters, meaning parental guidelines matter. If we want to take this clothing example further, surely you will have certain things that you care more or less about. For example, are there guardrails about any kind of graphics on their clothes, any kind of words or images that you're just like, nope, not going to happen in my household? Or do you have rules around, distressed comes and goes with style, right? What about holes in the jeans or in the shirts or whatever? Like, does that bother you? Are you good with that or not? Do you have length requirements of how low a top can go or how high the shorts or the skirts or the dresses can go or how low the pants can hang with the boxers hanging up the top? Like, do you have rules or anything for your particular household that is either a heck yes or a heck no or whatever? Lay out those rules and then say, all right, here's your budget. Within these parameters, go. Now, you probably also want to say you need at least, 8 different tops, or, 4 different pairs of pants or whatever it is. So it can't, all that money can't go to one, really amazing pair of kicks or something. But, they've got to be able to get whatever that minimum wardrobe is within the framework that you've put together. So then give them the budget. And now they have what we'll call skin in the game. You've heard this term before. So when the kids are using their allocated budget, they learn prioritizing. They learned opportunity costs and the true value of money in a way that lectures cannot. They start to consider, is this shirt or is that toy or is this experience really worth that much? Or if I buy this, can I still afford that? Clothes are just one thing, by the way, but it's easily relatable, so I'll stick with this for now. My daughter once desperately wanted a very trendy, expensive t-shirt. She had the funds in her clothing budget, and after looking at the price, she paused. And she was calculating how many other shirts she could get for that same amount, or if it would mean she couldn't get, a book series that she wanted if she was going to move budget from one area to another. And ultimately, she chose to pass on that t-shirt, realizing it wasn't worth sacrificing the other things she cared about. So that's a lesson learned through experience, not through lecture. Now, beyond personal budgets that the kids now get to control, it's also vital, don't shield your kids from household money realities and budgets. If things are tighter, if things are or a little bit more abundant, like let them know, let them understand and involve them in the conversation. So let's talk about age-appropriate discussions around family financial decisions. This helps teach them about trade-offs and priorities on a larger scale. For example, next time you're discussing a family decision like planning a vacation, buying a new appliance, or even reviewing monthly bills, involve your kids. Ask them, if we spend here, what might we need to cut back on there? It teaches prioritization and opportunity cost in a way that the piggy bank never will. It reveals that money isn't infinite even for adults. And that's where you'll also get to be talking about things you don't really get to choose on, meaning discretionary versus non-discretionary. You have to pay the rent or the mortgage, generally speaking. You have to pay for taxes. You have to pay for electricity, for water, for some level of groceries. But that's where you can talk about, let's use food. What are the trade-offs between eating out and eating in? And is it better to go to like one really great steakhouse a month or to go to fast food or maybe a lower end chain 3 times a month? What's more important to them? Involve them in that conversation so that then they realize, okay, well, we've already been to Chick-fil-A or Panera or wherever, Starbucks or whatever, 3 times this month. We've already used up that budget. Oh, okay. As opposed to just no. So you're giving them context for when you say yes or when you say no. It gives them the context of how are you thinking about it from a monetary point of view and not just yes or no on a whim. Why that decision is happening so that they're watching, they're observing, and then they can apply those lessons to their own decision making later. Then we start to get into the idea of how do you build wealth. So first is just spending decisions and, where do I spend versus not spend. Then you get the next piece around how do you, if you want to spend more, you need to earn more. Or if you don't want to be earning all the time, you need to save for later. And you start to get into a little bit more around the idea of wealth building and planning for the future. So once they understand how to manage the money that they're given, the next step is cultivating their ability to earn and strategically save. So it goes much beyond chores. So while household contributions are essential for building life skills and a sense of responsibility, they are not where kids are going to learn about true value creation and entrepreneurship. So that's where the active income opportunities come in. This is where we nurture kidpreneurship. Kids, entrepreneurship, kidpreneurship. Encourage your children to identify problems that they can solve or value they can create either inside or outside the home for compensation. My older daughter, for example, started a neighborhood pet care business when she was 9. And it wasn't just about walking dogs and feeding cats, it was about managing clients, scheduling, and understanding profit. Other kids start lemonade stands, they offer car washing, or even create small crafts to sell. It teaches initiative and that direct link between effort and reward. So where my daughter was 9 when she started offering her pet care services, and it was pretty simple stuff. It was walking and feeding dogs, it was feeding the fish, petting the guinea pigs, just simple, easy things that a 9-year-old could do. Now she's almost 16 and she's actually this week going to do her first overnight pet care. I will be there for safety on the overnight, but she's literally going to be house sitting this neighbor's house for probably 21 hours a day. They have a puppy, he's adorable, all that. But the owners really want him kept company that whole time. So she's about to go on a 3.5-day effort. And it's all because she was able to build upon what she's been doing for 6 years. She's also putting together marketing materials right now to continue soliciting new clients, and it's only for our neighborhood. So she can bike to wherever she needs to get to, but she has her own business bank account. She files taxes and actually now invests in a Roth IRA because she has earned income. And so more discussion on that in another talk, but all of this is about how can she, in her place of what she's interested in and what she's good at, how can she create value for others and then make profits off of that. So I mentioned taxes. Let's talk about this in a little bit of a different context. So just like in the real world, we also introduced the concept of the tax man. In our first London bank, we implemented a 50% tax on earnings. Yeah, 50%. And so at first blush, that sounds like, whew, that's huge and unreasonable. But if you actually look at your own paycheck and look at all the deductions that come out of your paycheck, it's actually not that far from reality. So yes, 50%. It is an easy number to calculate, and it immediately teaches the difference between gross earnings and actual spending power. It prepares them for the real world tax realities and fosters living within their means from an early age. And so this actually leads directly into strategic saving. That 50% tax that we, the parents, are imposing on our kids' earnings, it's not actually going to the IRS. They're below the taxable limit. However, it does go into first a high yield savings account, and then once they had enough of all three of them have been doing some kind of savings. Once they have enough to do that minimum opening balance, we actually open Vanguard accounts. And so they're invested in Vanguard Total Stock Market Index, the International Stock Market Index, and their money is now growing passively with this savings chunk of 50% of everything they've earned over all this time. That money will become theirs when they leave home. So whether they're going to college or whether they're going to start their own business after high school graduation or doing some kind of gap year travel, like whatever that next chapter is for them, they will have the benefit of all these savings that they've been doing, half of their allowance, half of their pet care business, half of their, power washing people's driveways, all of that kind of stuff. That is building up for them for the future and growing with however the stock market grows. So this also teaches them the idea of save for the future, create passive income, and let your money work for them. So the goal here is to show them that their money is growing and working for them. And then this visible progress fuels their motivation. Yes. Do they get upset when half of whatever they earn gets taken away immediately? Yes. Are we going to keep doing it? Absolutely. Because it doesn't matter how upset you are when all the deductions come out of your paycheck. That is a reality that it's true for all of us. So get used to it now. Understand that in our particular case, it'll come back to you later, and watch how that passive income is starting to create real value and wealth for each of these children who they're like 2 are in high school and one's still in middle school. Once they're ready to leave home, those will be meaningful dollars. So this long-term vision is powerful. By building these habits early, understanding money as a tool, practicing constrained decision making, earning beyond chores, and consistently saving, your children can build significant financial understanding and even a net worth by the time they graduate high school. This sets them on an incredibly strong path for lifelong financial independence. We've seen today that raising financially independent kids does not require complex lectures or a new budget. Instead, it's about providing frequent, hands-on opportunities for them to practice within the safe context of your home, which is a profound gift that builds grit, skills, and confidence for life. I want you to leave this conversation feeling inspired and motivated to take action. Here's your clear, immediate next step. Write this down. Identify just one area where you're already spending money on your child's behalf. Perhaps it's for clothes, entertainment, a hobby, summer camps, whatever is like makes sense to you. Then let your child take the reins on that existing budget. Give them the framework of whatever your guardrails are, but let them do something with it. Give them that decision-making power within your family's framework. It's that simple. It's a simple, powerful shift that kickstarts their hands-on financial learning. For the full step-by-step framework that details how to implement the system from ages 5 on up, complete with our family's real stories and even kid interviews, they're cute, cheesy, but cute. My book, Family Bank Blueprint, is your comprehensive guide. It's available on Amazon. I'll put the link in the notes. You can also follow me on Instagram, TikTok. YouTube is my favorite, so please definitely like and subscribe if you're finding any value in this at all. If you like it, that'll help others find it, and when you subscribe, you'll find more of the story coming out as well. So please do follow me, like, subscribe. Thank you so much. It means the world to me. And thank you for being here. It's truly a dream come true for me to be able to share this information, and hope that it brings as much value to your household as it has to mine. Happy to take any questions. Pop them in the comments and let's have a conversation. Thank you.